What's going on, guys? This is Noah here, and today I just wanted to bring you a quick commentary about something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, ever since I've started getting more into Call of Duty again. And that is what Uncharted 4's multiplayer mode could learn from the COD series, and that could make it just a more enjoyable game. And now, before I get started, I just want to make this 100% clear. I don't think Uncharted should become a third-person Call of Duty clone, if that's even a thing that could happen, nor do I think that it is an awful game that needs a lot of improvement. It's just that COD has obviously been running a lot longer than Uncharted. It's basically the most popular multiplayer game on the planet, and I think it does a few things better that could really make Uncharted 4 just more seamless to play, easier to get into, and plain old more enjoyable. So let's start off this list with something that I think everybody can sympathize with if they've played a Naughty Dog game, and that is, of course, the awful matchmaking. Matchmaking in Naughty Dog games has been pretty bad since Uncharted 2. And I know what you're going to say, yeah, that's because Uncharted 3 has barely any people playing. Of course, Black Ops 2 or, Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare is going to have quicker matchmaking because there's a higher player population. But that's not entirely true. Even if you go back and play an old game like Call of Duty 4, which I guarantee has as small of a player population as Uncharted 3, at least on PlayStation 3, you still find games really, really fast, and usually the teams are pretty well balanced. And also, another example of this is another one of Naughty Dog's games, and that is The Last of Us Remastered on the PS4. Now, clearly this game has a much, much bigger player population than Uncharted 3, and the teams are only 4v4, so matchmaking should be easy, right? Well, I usually have to wait at least 5 minutes just to get into a game, and when I do, 9 out of 10 times, the teams are super unbalanced, and you'll have like a bunch of level 100s on one team versus 20s, 10s, and sometimes even level 0s on the other. Anyway, I don't really know how Naughty Dog could improve this. It's pretty clear it's some underlying problem with their engine's netcode, but I really think this should be a big focus, and because later on, as Uncharted 4 gets less and less players, this problem is going to get more prevalent and really just be a pain in the ass. So, next off is the kind of menus and a little bit about the party system. Now, this is most likely to do with the fact that Call of Duty is a much larger budget put toward its multiplayer mode. Of course, it's essentially a multiplayer-focused game, unlike Uncharted. But when you try to use the menus and just get around the interface, customize your class, they're so easily laid out, so intuitive, and most importantly, there's no stupid long-ass animations that make everything really annoying. So, what I really want to see from Uncharted 4 is for Naughty Dog to focus on making the menus easy to use for beginners and also quick and efficient for people who have played the game for a long period of time. In terms of the party system, Uncharted is pretty good. It's pretty standard like most games. However, one thing that's annoying is the fact that you can't join friends who are trying to find a match. Call of Duty does this. I don't see why this is a problem. I think this would make it a lot easier to join your friends just when you turn on the game, because chances are they're not just going to be sitting in an empty lobby waiting for you to go online. And speaking of kind of being quick and intuitive is load times. Now, this I don't really expect to improve too much because this is how Naughty Dog's engine works, but in Call of Duty, both the initial game load and also loading into the maps, it's just lightning fast. The game feels so much quicker. It feels like I can almost play 3 or 4 COD matches just in the time it takes me to play one Uncharted match, simply because the menu system and the loading times are just so much more seamless and quick. So, next up, moving a little bit into gameplay, is having more deeply customizable classes. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a controversial point because obviously some people think that Uncharted should go back to the Uncharted 2 way, where you started with an AK-47, a pistol, and got to pick up a couple of guns from the map. But I think that if Naughty Dog wants to go the more Call of Duty style route, which it definitely seems like with The Last of Us, they really need to make the customizable classes more diverse. In Uncharted 3, there's pretty much 3 different kinds of primaries everyone uses and 2 secondaries. And on top of that, all the other guns there are just not really balanced. Call of Duty has dozens upon dozens of weapons, and yet still, they all have a place in the game, and you don't see players gravitating toward the same perks and the same guns over and over and over again like you sometimes do in Uncharted 3. And finally, speaking of variety, the last thing I think Call of Duty does better than Uncharted, that Uncharted 4 should learn from, is having fun, interesting new objective modes. Now, of course, Uncharted 3 has Team Deathmatch, which is probably going to be the most popular game mode in any online shooter ever, but Call of Duty really does the objective modes well. You have things like Domination, Hardpoint, what else? You have Search and Destroy, kind of just all these objective modes that are fun and interesting but still keep players coming back and back. Whereas in Uncharted you have the team objective mode, I forget what it's called, with the rotating objectives, and sure, that's fun for a while, but sometimes being able to get into a game and have it stay consistent, not having to switch between King of the Hill, Deathmatch, Plunder, all these things, is just really nice. So I'm not saying I want Naughty Dog to just add things like Domination in Uncharted 4, which we've already seen in a ton of games, but I just want them to work on making some objective modes that are a little more interesting and kind of more consistent. So guys, those are my thoughts. They were kind of quick, maybe a little disorganized, so I'm sorry for that. I kind of recorded this commentary in a rush because I'm moving off to university tomorrow. But let me know what you think. If there's anything that you want improved for Uncharted 4 or what you think another game does better, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear your opinions, and I'll see you in the next one.